2014 Kettleers baseball hits the air in 3,
2, 1.
Norwood, a shot to left. Warren goes back. It's out of here. He knew it from the crack of the bat. We're tied at 2. 0-1, a 2-2 tie. Wiseman's in third. 0-1 pitch. A long shot to right. It's way back. Get out of here. Home run. Brendan Hendricks, a 3-run bomb. Kettleers lead 5-2.
2014 Kettleers baseball lives here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Now, with the Kettleers warm-up, here's Brendan Glasheen.
That Brendan Hendricks home run was 13 days ago here at Lowell Park. The Wareham Gatemen and Kettleers meet for the 5th time this season. Katuitt looks to pull within 1 in the season series. It currently trails 3-2. Greg Moraz and Brendan Glasheen on hand right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Kettleers baseball always brought to you by the CC Cape Cod League Network. And Greg, yesterday was a struggle, and again, we want to apologize for the delayed pregame show. We had some lead stuck in some of our machines prior to today's game. But Greg, looking at yesterday's ball game for the 2 days ago, the off day yesterday, the Kettleers lost 12-4 to the Bourne Braves at Doran Park, but the struggle continues with the starting pitching. It's not even what these guys have done offensively, but it's what they've been allowing on the base paths. 10 players reached without a ball put in play at Bourne on Wednesday.
Well, the problem is, Brendan, is that this pitching staff continues to issue walks. They now have 172 walks issued this season,
which is 42 more than Wareham. It's now time for the national anthem. We'll take a quick break and have Mike Roberts on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It's time for the Roberts Report on the Kettleers warm-up. Standing by with Mike Roberts is Greg Moraz.
Mike Roberts joins me on the Roberts Report. And, Coach, the first question I have to ask you is this. Jeff Kinley's been your closer for pretty much the entirety of the first 36 games. You have him starting today. What's the decision behind that move?
We're looking for people that can throw strikes, period. And I wouldn't say he's been our closer because I've used him in different areas of the game. And I would say Whit's been more our closer, really, than Jeff has. But, you know, we're searching still for 4 to 5 starters that can throw strikes, and that's the reason Jeff's pitching tonight.
How many innings do you think, based upon the amount of innings that you've used him, because he hasn't really gone more than 2 innings at a time, how many innings do you think he's going to be able to go today if he gets in a groove?
Well, I would never predict how many innings. We'll just take a look and see how it flows. And, you know, again, I don't ever put guys out there unless I specifically say, okay, we're going 3-3-3 or whatever we are. So I really don't know. I would think, you know, 4 to 5 would be max, and I'll be happy if he gives us 3 really quality innings.
Now, Ian Rice is back in the lineup today. He got hit in the helmet with that breaking ball from Wide East Michael Murray. And how do you expect him to react to getting back to game speed? Because he hasn't really been in a whole lot of game situations over the past week and a half. So what are you expecting from him tonight?
Well, again, my expectations, I don't really think about that particular word. I just ask them if each player, if they're ready to play and want to play, and Ian really wants to get back in the lineup. And, you know, he's a solid catcher, and he really helped us with the bat. You know, after he got 20, 25, 30 ABs under his belt, he really started to swing the bat better. So it also, not only does Ian need to play, but we need a little bit of rest for the other 2 catchers back there. So we're glad he's back in the lineup, and we'll just, again, see how he plays.
Jake Fincher was leading the league in hitting when the month of July started. He has gone in a very, very bad slump. Have you identified anything in his swing that you think is causing him to not be able to get on base?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same struggles that Jake went through last summer at times that he went through this spring at NC State, and we're working on trying to correct it because we do know exactly the problem, but and we do practice extra on it, but it's tough to correct it when you're playing as much as he is. So we'll continue to work on it. Maybe he'll break out in the All-Star game on Sunday night or break out at Orleans tomorrow night. And Jake's a good player. We just got to polish up some areas with the bat.
Now, final question for you, Coach. Jamison Fisher has been one of your hottest hitters over the past couple of ball games. He's gotten 3 hits apiece in each of his last 3 games. He had been in a slump. What did you adjust in his swing, and how do you think it's translated for him?
Well, we really didn't do anything with Jamison's swing. He has what I call a sweet left-handed swing, and he's fine. You know, everybody in this game goes through, 1 or 2 games or 4 or 5 games where they struggle a little bit. You look at Rhett Wiseman, he went 2 games in a row where he hit the ball as hard as anybody in the league and hardly got anything for it. So when guys have a real comfortable swing, like Jamison does, a beautiful rhythmic swing from the left side, we just kind of throw BP to him. He's actually had a little bit of back problems, so Jamison has done most of his hitting in the batting cage and really has not actually been out on the field prior to game time.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
That is head coach Mike Roberts here on the Roberts Report. We'll be back with more of the Kettlers warm-up right after this.
It's time for Kettlers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Now, with lineups and first pitch, here's Brendan Glasheen.
The struggling Gatemen return to Lowell Park for the final time this year, taking on the Cotuit Kettleers. Greg Barraz and Brendan Glasheen on hand with you. That was Mike Roberts for the Roberts Report. It's now time to get you the starting 9 for the visiting Wareham Gatemen, sporting their home white jerseys. It is Red Shirt Friday here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, so Cotuit wearing the red jerseys with maroon hats. The starting lineups are brought to you by Chatham Barzin. Leading off, the second baseman from Arizona, Willie Calhoun. Blake Lacey bats second. He's over at short. Chris Chinea, the DH, bats third. Corey Ray in center field tonight. He's from Louisville, batting in the cleanup spot. Kyrie Washington bats fifth. He's out and left. Jose Koss over at third base, batting fifth. Danny Rosenbaum, the seventh hitter, at first base, batting seventh. John Borman hits eighth. He's catching, and batting ninth, Anderson Miller. He's out and right.
From left to right in the outfield, John Norwood, Jackson Glines, and Rhett Wiseman. Around the horn from third to first, Brendan Hendricks, Logan Taylor, Jordan Ebert, and Jamison Fisher. Ian Rice doing the catching from the left-hander from Michigan State, number 32, Jeff Kinley.
Jeff Kinley making his first start ever in his career. Kinley pitched in his freshman year at Michigan State, but also started some games in right field. So he has not started a game on the mound, but has started games before, except he was in right field for 19 games, in 2 games in left field when he was a dual threat at Michigan State. Since his sophomore season, Kinley has been a pitcher strictly. He's throwing some tosses over to Brendan Hendricks over at third. So those are the 2 things to look out for today, Greg. Ian Rice, number 1, back in the lineup. Mike Roberts mentioned it. He wants to play. He wants to get back in the lineup. And he's catching a guy who hasn't started ever. This should be interesting today, this battery.
Well, Jeff Kinley received a medical red shirt in his junior season because he had blood clots in his elbow. Now, Kinley was never a guy who threw a lot of innings to begin with, but as you heard in the Roberts Report, he wants somebody who's going to throw strikes. And Jeff Kinley this year, he has thrown strikes. Kinley has only issued 7 walks in 21 innings pitched. He's got a 1.71 ERA over 21 innings. So, I mean, it's about getting off to a good start. It's about establishing your stuff.
Willie Calhoun, the left-handed hitter from Arizona, stands in, ready for baseball. Jeff Kinley on the hill for Cotuit, right foot in front of the left. He's into the windup. First pitch of today's game. Fastball popped up to the left side, out of play. Kinley ahead 0-1. You'll see the fastball, the changeup, and breaking ball from Kinley. The 3-pitch guy, Ian Rice, doing the catching for him, getting his first start for the Kettleers in quite some time. Kinley winds 0-1. Fastball, nub to the left side. Taylor, as well as Norwood, in on the run. Norwood makes the catch in shallow left. Tonight's umpires are brought to you by Friendly's Ice Cream, because we want friendly conversations between the umpiring crew and the players and coaches in today's ball game. Jerry Park behind the plate, Jim Clayton down the first baseline, and Brian Troop over at third base tonight. Blake Lacey of Southern Cal steps in. Right-handed hitter from Cal over at shortstop. Fastball high and away from the left-handed Kinley.
The key statistic tonight, though, is both of these teams' inability to draw walks and their ability to issue walks.
1-0 pitch sliced up the middle. Ebert goes to the backhand. He can't get it. It gets into center field. A base hit. Jackson Glines flips it back in. A one-out single for Blake Lacey.
These are two teams that swing very early in the count. Cotuit is last in the league in walks drawn. Wareham second to last. On the flip side, the Kettleers, as we've well noted, have issued the most walks in the league. Wareham has issued the second most. So something's got to give.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it kind of does when you look at these two teams and where they place in the pitching statistics. First pitch changeup on the outside corner to Chris Chinea. Again, Wareham wearing the home white unis with the red lettering and numbering. Chinea holds the right hand up, asks for time, lets the bat now straggle by the lettering of Wareham. 0-1, cuts it to the right side foul. Kinley ahead 0-2.
Chinea, one of Wareham's All-Stars, will be starting in the All-Star game as the DH. The other Gateman catcher, Keaton Aldridge, not in the game today, will be the starting catcher for Kyle Cody, Wareham's righty from Kentucky.
0-2 pitch. Chinea looks at a fastball high and away. 1-2. You mentioned Cody. He'll be the starter for the Western Division. Kramer Robertson, the other All-Star. Second baseman not in the lineup today. Sort of a surprise, hitting .396 against left-handed pitching, only .236 against righties. He's on the bench tonight, though. 1-2 breaking ball gets away. 2-2 to Chinea. Runner at first with one down. Wareham and Cotuit battling for the fifth time this season. The battery today for the Kettleers, awfully interesting, considering how long Ian Rice has been out and how Jeff Kinley's been a shutdown guy out of the bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Chinea pops it up. Jackson Glines backs up a couple of steps, makes the catch in center to retire Chinea. 2 down for Corey Ray.
For me, Corey Ray is one of the most interesting guys, at least when he's facing the Kettleers. Corey Ray, on the season for Wareham, has struggled. He's been better of late. 17 for 65. That goes to 262, but he's 5 for 10 against Cotuit.
Ray, one of two Louisville players in the lineup for the Gatemen. First pitch is going to be a pickoff move over to first, close. Jamison Fisher applies the tag. Brendan Hendricks in on the grass for Cotuit. Kinley lets the glove lean on his right thigh. Comes set. Stares at Lacey, the pitch. Swing and a miss. High fastball up and in. Ray offered. Corey Ray from Chicago, Illinois. Stands at 6 foot, 190 pounds. Climbs back in the box. Lets the bat hold out in front with both hands on it. Kinley sets. Throw to first. Awfully close. He's got a good pickoff move over to first base.
A very good pickoff move, and a left-hander who has practiced his craft at that. Lefties always have the best pickoff moves because they can actually see the base runner.
Checks again. He thought he had him, but Fisher dropped the ball. Kinley actually started walking back to the Kettleers dugout. That's how confident he was, but Fisher can't hold on to it. Hendricks in on the grass, down the third baseline. Taylor and Ebert in middle range up the middle, 0-1. Breaking ball, cuts north to south on the outside corner, 0-2 to Corey Ray.
The book on Corey Ray is that if you throw him curveballs, you won't be able to hit him. Just don't give this guy a fastball.
0-2. Fastball, he elevates him, strike 3. Couple of flyouts and a strikeout. Despite Kinley allowing the base hit, the Kettleers are set to hit in the home half of the first. No score early on, right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years.
Back at Lowell Park, a scoreless top of the first inning. And we're here in the bottom half. Wareham back out on the field defensively, and the Kettleers set to come to bat. Starting lineup brought to you again by Chatham Barzin. Rhett Wiseman, the leadoff man, is out in right field. John Norwood bats second. He's out in left. Jamison Fisher, the first baseman, batting third. Jackson Glines in the cleanup spot. He's out in center. Logan Taylor, the red-hot Logan Taylor, hitting over 400 in his last 10 games, has a 12-game hit streak going. He's at short, hitting fifth. Ian Rice back in the lineup for the first time since July 12th. He's hitting sixth behind the plate. Trace Barrera, the DH, batting seventh. Jordan Ebert, the second baseman, he hits eighth. And Brendan Hendricks on the 9-hole, he is at third base today.
Kyrie Washington, Corey Ray, and Anderson Miller from left to right in the outfield. Jose Quaz, Blake Lacey, Willie Calhoun, and Danny Rosenbaum. Around the horn from third to first, John Borman catching pitches. In a unique situation today, though. A one-inning guy today, the lefty from Louisville, number 13, Drew Harrington.
We were told before the game Drew Harrington is going just one inning tonight simply to get some work. His last outing came back on July 8th. So he's had some time off, trying to rest the arm, and he's going to get one inning today. Left-handed pitcher. And Rhett Wiseman starting to wave off the batter's box, hitting from the left side. Rhett entering the action tonight, hitting .262 with a home run and 12 RBIs. His first homer coming this past Tuesday here at Lowell Park. First pitch fastball misses away at 91 from Harrington. Left-handed hurler from Louisville. Third Louisville player in the lineup that we've yet to mention. 1-0 fastball misses away. You'd have to wonder, maybe the reasoning behind him only getting an inning is because he worked a lot with the Cardinals this season. Of course, Louisville was a College World Series club. 2-0 pitch to Wiseman. Fastball up and in, he swings through it. So he's getting behind 2-0 and then goes fastball up and in. Wiseman cuts on and misses. 2-1. Harrington fixes his grip, hurls the 2-1. Fastball chopped to the right side by the Wareham dugout, picked up by one of the coaches. Heaved in, count evened up at 2-2.
Although Anthony Kay, who was on the online system listed to start today's game, he's already loosening in the bullpen, and he will come in and try and pitch at least 5.
2-2 pitch. Wiseman waves on and misses. A curveball low and away. Good start for Harrington in what is just one inning, according to sources. Gets the strikeout. So Wiseman gone to begin the ball game.
I'd say pretty good sources. I was sitting with the Wareham broadcast team, and Cooper Ferris came over, handed play-by-play broadcaster, our friend Mike Monaco, the lineup card, and he said, Harrington's going 1, then K.
Tyce Norwood takes the changeup, low and in. That heads to the backstop. John Norwood hitting .333 in his last 10 played. Will participate in the home run hitting contest this Sunday at Doran Park and the All-Star Game festivities. 1-0, Norwood shoots it to right center. Corey Ray ranges over, and so does the right fielder Anderson Miller. He makes the catch with the glove on the right hand, hurls it in with the left. Norwood retired. Back-to-back outs recorded by Harrington. What's interesting is if he gets through this inning quickly, it must be tempting as a coach to not want to stick with the guy that maybe cruises through that first inning, but you have to stick to what your principles are. Jamison Fisher hitting third today, climbs in. First pitch to him. Curveball. Tails away, but home plate umpire Jerry Parks says Fisher went around. It's 0-1. Jamison hitting .327. Good for top 10 in the Cape Cod League. 0-1 pitch. Change up away. 1-1.
I think the thing that's interesting, though, is that Cooper Ferris did this the other night. When Sean Adler was scheduled to go, Kyle Cody went 1 inning, and then Adler went the next 5.
Fisher, the left-handed hitter, the pitch. Fastball outside corner. Again at 91. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The velo's been there early on for Harrington. But again, early on is really just too late because he's 1 strike away from ending his outing. Wiggles the glove. 1-2 to Fisher. Fastball cut to the left. Over by the Kettleer kitchen. 1-2.
I think we're supposed to say that because we haven't specified it by name, but anytime we're at Bourne, it's the Tom Harden Snack Shack. Great pretzel burger.
1-2 pitch to Fisher. Half-hearted swing. Park says he goes around. So Drew Harrington ends his outing with a solid day. 2 Ks and a flyout. A 1-2-3. Bottom of the first inning on the mound. We'll go to the second at Lowell Park. 1 hit. No score on either side between Cotuit and Wareham. Stick with us right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable Mashpee, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years.
Start of the second inning here at Lowell Park. Kettleers and Gateman squaring off for the 5th time this season. Cotuit trailing the season series 3-1. Jeff Kinley back on the hill. First pitch from the lefty, juice to left. But John Norwood camps under, takes about 5 steps in, makes the catch just above his hat for out number 1. That was Kyrie Washington flying out in the first pitch. We'll see him against John Norwood in the Western Division home run hitting contest. That's Sunday prior to the All-Star game. A 6:05 first pitch. So if you're interested, you're around, go check it out. Tickets are just $5. Should be a lot of fun seeing Barrera and Norwood as well as Washington going head-to-head. Kinley's first pitch on the way to cause on the outside corner a curveball, 0-1.
Only one lefty in that home run derby for the Western Division, that is Carl Wise from Hyannis.
0-1. Cause nibs it but goes behind the glove of Ian Rice. Ian Rice picks it up, throws it back to Kinley, 0-2. Cause, a third baseman from Maryland. A slight open stance, batting from the right side. Kinley retrieves his sign into the windup, 0-2. Fastball high and away, a waste pitch. So Ian Rice back for the Kettleers. Again, first time in the lineup since July 12th. Was getting hot, too. It was depressing to see him go down, a curveball low and in. When he really hit his stride offensively, then the injury happens, a head injury. Suffered a concussion. 2-2 on the way. Change up, dips low and in. Full count on Cause. Rhett Wiseman significantly moved to the left in right field as Kinley winds the 3-2. Fastball hit into the backstop. We'll see the payoff again. Jackson glides about a step or two to the left of the 367 marker out in center. Jackson remains in even with the bag. Jamison Fisher over at first, deep. Middle infield in normal range. 3-2. Fastball popped up to shallow center. A long run for Ebert as well as Glines. Ebert's going to get it, the second baseman in shallow right, and make the catch over his right shoulder for the second out.
Kinley, on balls put in play, he's recorded 5 outs so far. 4 of them pop-outs. Has not gotten a ground ball thus far.
Danny Rosenbaum looks to change that. First baseman from Louisville. Another slight open stance guy. The Cardinal awaits the Spartan. First pitch. Fastball, two-seamer on the inner half. 0-1. The Big Ten leader in saves this past year, getting the start for Mike Roberts. 0-1 pitch from Kinley. Fastball, sliced on the ground towards third. Hendricks picks it up, throw to first in time. A 1-2-3, top of the second for Kinley. He's retired 6 of the first 7 Wareham Gatemen he's faced. We'll go to the home half of the second at Lowell Park. Kettleers coming up offensively right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Last of the second, Kettleers coming up to bat for the second time today. A new pitcher, though, as expected. The day done for Drew Harrington in 1 inning of work. The hurler from Louisville done. New pitcher in, it's Anthony Kay.
Anthony Kay from UConn, a 1-2 record, a 3.04 ERA. This, his 13th appearance, 26 2/3 innings, 31 hits, 12 runs, 9 of them earned, 12 walks, and 19 strikeouts.
Kay's performance here at Lowell Park 13 days ago was one to forget. Allowed 3 runs on just 2 hits in a 3rd inning of work. First pitch to Jackson Glines, a fastball in the outside corner. The left-handed hitter from Michigan behind 0-1. First we've seen Jackson Glines batting cleanup this year. Hitting .282 on the season, 0-1. Knocked down the first baseline foul, picked up by Brian Bamanek, the first base coach for the Kettleers. Glines again, .282. A home run and 10 RBIs. And now he has to fetch a new bat. It did not sound good. Hit the inside of the barrel. So Anthony Kay hopes to go a lot further than Drew Harrington did. Of course, he was pulled because of the set 1 inning that they hope to get from him. Glines has a new bat, taps the end of home plate. He's ready for the 0-2, Kay's pitch. Curveball, too high and in. 1-2. A beautiful day for baseball. After the off day in the CCBL, Wareham and Cotuit battling on Friday. Fastball popped to left center. Long run in for Corey Ray. And now the left fielder, Kyrie Washington, waves him off in left center, makes the catch. Closes it with 2 hands for the first out of the second inning. So a good start for Anthony Kay. And to get more in depth, Greg, about that outing, I mean, you remember it. He allowed a home run to John Norwood, but it ended up being pretty ugly. A third of an inning, allowed the 3 runs, 2 hits, walked 1, and faced just 4 batters. Here's a hot hitter that he has to go up against, Logan Taylor. Fastball misses away to Logan. Has hit in 12 straight games. 19 of his last 21 ball games, he has a base knock. 1-0 to Taylor. Two-seamer on the outside half to the right-handed hitter from Texas A&M, 1-1.
The thing, though, is that 2 of those 3 runs did not come off of a bat that he faced. Jason Richmond gave up a 3-run homer to Brendan Hendricks.
1-1. Change up, low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike on Logan Taylor. Brendan Hendricks hit a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 8th to give the Kettleers a 5-2 win. 2-1 pitch knocked down the third base line. It rolls foul. Cause went to the backhand to get it, but throws it back in to Anthony Kay. And now Logan Taylor needs a new bat. That one also sounded like it hit the inside part of the barrel. Bats breaking everywhere.
That's the one thing about the Cape League, in that you are not used to, as a college baseball player, hitting with wooden bats. It's great training for when you get to the professional level, but in college you're using BB-Core metal bats, which have a legal sort of force. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but some bats have been determined illegal.
So Taylor fetches a new bat. This one, a crisp white. 2-2 on the way to him. Fastball misses below the knees, says Jerry Park, home plate umpire. 3-2. Although Anthony Kay has entered the game in the second inning, he has started with UConn. It feels like a start, probably. 3-2, low and away to Taylor. He takes ball 4. First base runner of the game for Cotuit. Kettleers and Gateman, meeting number 5 this year. In a scoreless ball game early on, Ian Rice getting his first at bat in quite some time. But back to Anthony Kay. Started 8 games in 18 total appearances. It wasn't bad with the Huskies. At a 3.49 ERA in the 67 innings pitched. Ian Rice, again, a slight open stance. The bat close to his chest. Swings through the first pitch he sees. Since the 12th of July, he's behind 0-1. Has to be a fun feeling for Ian Rice getting back in the lineup. A 279 clip on the year. A home run and 10 RBIs. Catcher from Chipola Community College. 0-1. Curveball. Call it a strike on the outside corner. 0-2.
The key, though, is how does Rice get back up to game speed? Because with an injury such as his, you're not able to do anything. You're essentially just sitting around and stretching.
And including today, only 8 games left in the season. 0-2, a throw over. You got to think Trace Barrera is your guy going forward, but Mike Roberts doing the right thing, giving him some rest from behind the plate. Started 55 of 63 with Texas as the catcher. So Rice certainly helps with some rest. 0-2, fastball. Swing and a miss. It actually gets away from the catcher, back to the backstop, and now it's ruled a foul ball. Rice started to trot down the first base line, thinking he missed the ball completely. Wait, now he's out. When he walked back, it looked like he was going to get back in the batting box. But first base was occupied, so Rice down on strikes either way, whether the ball was caught or not. So he strikes out. Logan Taylor advances to second on the strikeout. So the Kettleers have a runner in scoring position in a scoreless ball game. And we just mentioned the catcher from Texas, Trace Barrera. He stands in. Barrera, the DH, sits back and awaits the first pitch of the at-bat. Change up low and into 81 from Anthony Kay.
Now, what's the rule on that, though? If first base is occupied, even if Taylor's going, he was going on the pitch, so I guess he is allowed to stay at second base.
He leads about 10 to 15 steps off of second base. A good lead for Taylor with 2 out in the inning. Pitch. Fastball outside corner to the right-handed hitter from Texas, Trace Barrera. Hitting .239, 11 of 46 with 4 homers, 9 RBIs. 4 home runs has Barrera in the home run hitting contest for the Western Division. Will join his teammate John Norwood. 1-1 pitch. Curveball bounces off the shin guard of the catcher Borman. It gets to the backstop. Taylor's down to third. So 90 more feet for Logan Taylor gives Barrera a better shot. He's ahead 2-1. Not sure where that bounced. I think it hit the shin guard. It went really high.
That's a wild pitch either way, though. I mean, it was not anywhere close to the glove of Borman. Wasn't anywhere close to the strike zone.
These are the types of plays that have hurt the Wareham Gatemen this year, a team that has not won 3 straight games since 2012. Fastball away. And that was to close their season in 2012 to eventually win the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship. It's a 3-1 count on Barrera. The left side of the infield, Cause and Lacey close together up the middle. 3-1, hit to the left side, picked up on the ground by Cause, and now he boots it. It rolls past the shortstop, Lacey. Logan Taylor in to score. And the Kettleers have the ball game's first run with 2 down in the second. Rule it an error. On who? I guess you got to give it to Lacey there.
No, that's on Jose Quaz because the ball hit him and went up into his chest. That was Quaz's ball, and he booted it. At least that's my assumption there.
So Taylor scores. No RBI for Barrera. Here's Jordan Ebert. Has dropped significantly in the order. Right-handed hitter from Auburn takes a fastball at 89 on the outside corner. Ebert has started to settle in, 10 of 36 on the year, a .278 clip with a homer and 7 RBIs. Hit a grand slam in his first game with the Kettleers. Right here at Lowell Park. First pitch. Rather, second pitch. A curveball low and in, 1-1. Cause, even with the third base bag, about 5 or 6 steps to the left of the bag at third base. Rest of the infield straight away. And a big cut on and miss by Ebert, 1-2. So Kay allows a run, but it goes down as unearned. Have to remember, though, that wild pitch put Taylor in a position to score on a ground ball. 1-2 pitch. Ebert knocks it to the right foul, into the trees here at Lowell Park. Red Shirt Friday, the Kettleer starters wearing the bright red jerseys. Katuitt sticking with the maroon helmets. Again, Wareham sporting the home whites. Which is kind of a surprise. They could have worn the pinstripes, but decided not to. They're going with the home whites today. Check on Barrera at first. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Katuitt leads Wareham 1-0. After an error over at third base by Jose Cause that plated Logan Taylor, 1-2. Fastball high and away at 92 miles per hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ebert. You know, you look at the decrease when it comes to where he is in the batting order from 4th, sometimes 5th, all the way down to 8th. 2-2, Ebert nubs it out of play. Led the SEC in hitting, but typically a guy used to being in the leadoff spot is yet to be in that spot this year.
Wiseman and Norwood in the month of July have basically had that spot on lock.
The Vanderbilt combo, last time we were here at Lowell Park, hit back-to-back home runs to make it a 5-4 game against Chatham. Ebert takes a curveball low and away. Count runs full 3-2. Barrera should be off on the next pitch. 1 hit, no runs for Wareham. Katuitt has yet to log a hit. They're up 1-0. With 2 down, payoff pitch. Ebert knocks it on the ground towards third. Cause boots another one. He doesn't have a play at first. Charged quickly and went with the single glove. Commits his second error in the half inning. Barrera's up to second. Ebert's at first with 2 down.
You want to know who's not starting at third base tomorrow for Wareham? Jose Quaz. That's who. 2 errors on 2 straight plays. I mean, that's not acceptable, especially on a slow roller like that. You got to be able to take your time and make sure that you play the hop right.
Gives Brendan Hendricks a shot. Third baseman today from San Francisco. First pitch swinging. Slaps one foul to the left out of play. 0-1. Brendan Hendricks getting some action for the first time in quite a bit. Hitting .321, 26 of 81 in the year, a homer and 15 RBIs. 1 behind the leader on the ball club, Logan Taylor. He scored today's first run. 0-1 pitch, curveball, dips in at the thighs. Hendricks behind 0-2. You and I both believe Hendricks was snubbed of an all-star spot. A .321 average, has played left field, third base, first base, has done a lot from Mike Roberts. Brett Wise, the leadoff man on deck. 0-2 on the way to Hendricks. Swing and a miss. Curveball that dialed him low and in. Retires the side. The Kettleers get a run, though, to set the tone in this ball game. After 2 at Lowell Park, Katuitt 1, Wareham nothing on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable Mashpee, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast
1-0 Kettleers on back-to-back errors by Jose Quaz at third base. 8-9-1 due up for the Gateman against Jeff Kinley, out for his third inning of work. John Borman, the catcher from the University of Texas San Antonio, steps to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. Borman stands in slightly open stance. Jeff Kinley winds, kicks, delivers the first pitch. Borman ropes it up the middle. Dive by Jordan Ebert to his backhand, but it goes into center field for a base hit. A leadoff man on for the Gateman. First leadoff hitter that has reached today brings up Anderson Miller.
And despite the 2 hits allowed by Kinley, he's been solid early on. And Katuitt really does need this type of start. We've said it all year long about how the starting pitching has struggled. But you hope to get some innings logged here by Kinley. You mentioned it earlier off the air, how he got snubbed of an all-star spot.
Anderson Miller lays down a bunt in front. Brendan Hendricks charges, flips to first in time to get the speedy Anderson Miller. The sacrifice works 5-3. John Borman moves up to second. Order turns over for Willie Calhoun.
You mentioned to me how you have to consider Kinley a guy who did not get an all-star selection. He'll have back-to-back days off on Sunday and Monday. And for Mike Roberts, looking for a guy that can get through that 4th, 5th inning. Why not go with a guy who has been solid with an ERA under 2 in all of his appearances this year?
Here's Willie Calhoun. First pitch curveball hits the outer paint for a strike, 0-1. Calhoun flew out to left to lead off the ball game. Hendricks in on the grass at third. Jamison Fisher way deep at first. Borman, 4-step lead at second base. Logan Taylor creeps in towards the bag. Kinley looks back. First base side of the rubber. Delivers. Curveball sweeps away. Count even up at 1 on Calhoun. And Kinley's been efficient so far. So, will be interesting to see how long he can go if he gets into pitch count trouble. 1-1 breaking ball. Misses low and away. Rice has to block it with the hands to the sky. 2-1 on Calhoun. Blake Lacey, the shortstop from USC, stands on deck. 2 Pac-12 hitters at the plate and on deck. Arizona and USC, respectively. Kinley of the Big Ten in the stretch. Delivers the 2-1. Sweeping fastball. Hits the outer corner. Called strike. 2-2 on Calhoun. Wind is blowing out slightly to left center field. Jackson Gline shifted 3 yards to the left of dead center. Kinley delivers a 2-2. Fastball misses high and away. Count goes to full on Calhoun.
And these are the types of counts you want to see him work through. The full counts in which he's got to battle, but also you want to avoid these as much as possible, considering he only pitched 3 days ago here at Lowell Park against Chatham.
Kinley sets, delivers the payoff. Calhoun hooks it down the first base side. Fisher scoops it, flips to Jeff Kinley covering the bag in time to get Willie Calhoun. John Borman moves over to third. Nice play defensively by Jamison Fisher at first. He was playing way back, almost to the outfield grass.
Yeah, good play defensively, and on the Wareham end of things, slowly but surely moving Borman all the way to third base. This is a Gateman team, Greg, that has really, really struggled to score runs.
Have not scored a run in either of their past 2 ball games. First pitch to Blake Lacey, skied out a play to the right side. 0-1. They scored 2 runs on Monday against the Falmouth Commodores. Scored no runs in either of their 2 games in their home and home with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
What's scary is they haven't scored more than 3 runs since July 7th.
Breaking ball, misses low and in. Count even up at 1-1 on Blake Lacey, who singled in his first at-bat back in the first.
I mean, you talk about a team that has issued the second most walks and has got on with the second amount of walks.
1-1, Lacey fouls it straight back, hits the chain link fence that guards the Arnold Mycock press box building. Count to 1-2 on Lacey. On deck, Chris Chinea.
See, offensively, you can't draw walks and you're not hitting and scoring runs, then that definitely paints the picture of why you're last in the league.
1-2, Lacey hooks it down the third baseline, foul. John Borman had to duck out of the way of it to make sure it didn't knock him in the helmet. But yes, that's a bad combination. When you're not scoring runs, when you're issuing a lot of walks, and you're giving up a lot of runs, that's just a recipe for disaster. Righty-lefty matchup. Kinley winds, kicks, delivers the 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. It gets away from Ian Rice. John Borman comes in and scores. Lacey safe at first. This game is tied at 1 on a drop third strike. Lacey fell down as he swung through the inside breaking ball. It tripped up Ian Rice. The ball got all the way back to the backstop. Borman comes in and scores. Lacey safe at first on a strikeout. So neither team today has scored a run on a hit. Here's Chris Chinea. First pitch fastball. Tails low and outside. Ball 1 on the DH from LSU.
And for Ian Rice, you don't want to see this much action coming your way early on for your first game back in almost 2 weeks. But that's how it goes, I guess.
Hendricks even with the bag at third. Chinea loops it up the middle. Ebert, and it goes under his glove at second base. Goes into center field. Lacey rounds second. Throw from Glines to third. Not in time. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. And what looked to be an efficient inning, as Ebert is charged with an error, E4, has turned into a disaster.
Ebert commits his 3rd error in just 10 games played with the Kettleers. You know, Cotuit is the 3rd best team defensively in the Cape Cod League, best in the West. And early on, 3 errors between both sides. We're not even through 3 innings yet.
1-1 tie. Kettleers scored their run back in the last half inning on an error by Jose Quaz on a Trace Barrera ground ball, and the Kettleers give up the run to the Gateman on a drop third strike. Corey Ray fouls it out of play to the left side, 0-1. Ray struck out swinging to end the first. Lacey at third, Chinea at first. 1-1 tie here in the top of the third. Kinley sets into the stretch. Fisher holds on. Chinea. Ray fouls it back to the screen. He's down in the count, 0-2. An odd inning, to say the least, for the Kettleers in the field. Kinley looks to first, delivers the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ray frustrated with himself that he went upstairs with a fastball again. Kinley strikes out Ray for the 2nd time today. Those are Kinley's 2 of his 3 strikeouts. The one that's not of Corey Ray, of Blake Lacey, but it gets past Ian Rice into the backstop, and it allows John Borman to come in and score to tie the ball game. We're through 2.5 here at Lowell Park. 1-1 the score here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is...
Top of the order due up for the Kettleers here against Anthony K. 1-1 the score as we head to the bottom of the third. Neither run scored off of a hit. Kettleers got their run in the bottom of the second inning on an error by Jose Quaz. And the Gatemen got their run in the last half inning on a drop third strike from Blake Lakely's first pitch swinging. Wiseman hooks it down the right field line over the glove of Danny Rosenbaum at first. Wiseman on with a leadoff single. That's the Kettleers' first hit of the ball game.
Good piece of hitting by Wiseman, pulling the ball down the right field line. Rosenbaum stuck up the glove. I'm not sure if it hit the glove or not. It actually might have, but no doubt a hit. And look at that. There's the Red Sox blimp going over Lowell Park.
A giant Red Sox logo on a white blimp hovering over Lowell Park.
Oh no, it's a UFO. Just kidding.
K in the stretch, first pitch to John Norwood. Breaking ball misses low and away for ball one. I'll tell you what, if it's supposed to be at the Red Sox game, then he must have gotten a really cheap GPS because this is nowhere near Boston.
Well, the Red Sox are in Tampa tonight. So perhaps they're taking a day off from Fenway and heading down here to Lowell Park. Maybe they'll drop the tickets out in the diamond.
K in the stretch. Wiseman scoots off of first. Rosenbaum holding him on. 1-0 fastball sweeps away from John Norwood. Counts to 2-0. Norwood normally number 27, but with the Red Shirt Friday uniforms, he's wearing number 28 today. The blimp is sponsored by Hood. Hood Ice Cream.
And milk.
I've only seen the ice cream. That's something we don't have on the West Coast. Hood. There's a Mount Hood located in Oregon. Very pretty, but not Hood ice cream. 2-0. Fastball misses low and in on Norwood. He's in the catbird seat, a 3-0 count. Jose Quaz in on the grass at third. Lacey and Calhoun shifted towards the second base bag. Rosenbaum holds on Wiseman at first. Corey Ray shifted out towards left center. Runner going, pitch misses high. Doesn't matter, the ball goes into center field. Wiseman reaches third. That is bad awareness by John Borman. When a ball is that high on a 3-0 count, you know that the hitter's not going to swing at that.
It's also ball 4. Why even bother throwing down? If Wiseman's going to get second base on a free pass, just hold it. You allow it to stay first and second. And with no outs, you figure, knowing Mike Roberts, he's going to probably put down a bunt. But either way, now it's first and third with nobody out.
There's a reason why Wareham's in last place. Let's just put it that way. It's plays like that. Because in a 3-0 count, you got to be smart enough as a catcher to realize that if they try a hit and run, first pitch to Jamison Fisher, fastball misses way inside. Borman does a great job to get out of the way of Jamison Fisher to be able to catch that ball. 1-0 the count. Fisher struck out swinging back in the first. Wiseman at third. Norwood at first. No error has been credited to John Borman. Fisher loops it out into left center field. Ray goes back on it. He makes the catch. Tagging at third and scoring is Wiseman. The sacrifice fly from Jamison Fisher. Kettleers retake the lead. It's now 2-1 Katuitt.
That's a simple case of doing your job right there. If you're Jamison Fisher, just lift a fly ball to the outfield, and he gets just that to plate Wiseman, and the Kettleers have regained the lead right away.
No determination yet on an error on John Borman because there are 2 errors listed up on the scoreboard for Wareham. Both of them came on Jose Quaz. Glines, looper, shallow left field, charging Washington. He won't get it. A base hit for Jackson Glines. He's 1 for 2. John Norwood moves up to second base. Runners at first and second with only 1 away for Logan Taylor. Jim Lawler, the pitching coach, coming out to have a meeting with his starter. This has been a very odd baseball game, to say the least. And now an error has been put up on the scoreboard, charged to John Borman. We will get for you at the last half of this inning, because the system does not recognize it, the online scoring system that we use here. We'll have to go over and talk with our official scorer, Ashley Crosby, about whether that run is earned or not, but I'm guessing that it will be earned because Wiseman probably would have scored anyway on the looper by Jackson Glines.
It's a fair assessment.
I think it's a good assessment.
Well, fair does mean good.
Fair, good, great, all words that mean positive things.
Yeah.
Here's Logan Taylor. Walked, stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and scored on an error back in the second. So he's seen it all. Righty-lefty matchup. Kay delivers. First pitch, check swing in the dirt. 1-0 on the Kettleers shortstop from Texas A&M. Quaz in on the grass at third. Rosenbaum just behind the level of the first base bag. Glines at first. Norwood at second. 2-1 Kettleers lead here in the bottom of the third. Kay looks back at second. The lefty delivers. Change up in the dirt. Good block by John Borman. 2-0 the count on Logan Taylor. Already action loosening in the Wareham Gateman bullpen. Taylor waggles the bat. Slightly open stance. Kay stares in for the sign. He's got it. Third base side of the rubber. Calhoun creeps over to second. 2-0. Curveball misses low and in. 3-0 on Logan Taylor. Kettleers in position to do some major damage here in the third.
Anthony Kay already knows how that feels. Again, you mentioned the big hit by Brendan Hendricks 2 weeks ago here at Lowell Park was not allowed by him, but the runs were charged.
3-0, fastball hits the outer corner. Logan Taylor thought it was ball 4. It's always worth noting that on 3-0 counts, umpire strike zones expand. Just an unwritten rule. Baseball and Jerry Park's zone expanded. If that ball was thrown anywhere in any other count, that's probably ball 4. Logan Taylor thought it was ball 4. 3-1 upcoming. Kay sets, delivers. Taylor hooks it right to Jose Quaz. It gets under him again. He dives to the third base bag, and Norwood is forced out. Jose Quaz almost had his third error in 2 innings. But the fielder's choice forces out Norwood at third. Glines moves up to second, and Logan Taylor is now standing on first base.
Well, didn't he luck out? He's lucky there were guys on base. Considering he would have to throw that ball across the diamond on a clear base paths, Quaz lucks out.
I agree with you. More than likely, if there's nobody on base, Taylor reaches, and that's ruled an error.
Another one.
3 errors for Wareham, and they've recorded 8 outs. Here's Ian Rice. First pitch on the way to the right-handed hitter from Chipola Junior College. Curveball hits at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Rice struck out swinging back in the second. Glines at second, Taylor at first. Gateman infield is back. Although a weird shift being put on. Calhoun over towards the second base bag. 0-1, hit off of Anthony Kay's glove. The shortstop, Lacey, flips to second, not in time. Logan Taylor dives in ahead of Blake Lacey's throw. Rule that. Well, actually, don't know what to rule that yet. More than likely, it'll be ruled a fielder's choice. So the bases are loaded for Trace Barrera. This is a spot where he's got to be licking his chops. Bases loaded. 2 outs. First pitch on the way to Barrera. Swing and a miss. Curveball misses well in, but Barrera swung over it. He wanted to park that one over the left field scoreboard. Glines at third. Taylor at second. Rice at first. Kettleers lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the third. Kay in the stretch. Gets the sign. Delivers. Barrera hits it in the hole. Quaz boots it again. Picks it up. Fires to first in time to get Trace Barrera. Kettleers add 1. But Jose Quaz, he needs some loving in the dugout. Or maybe a new glove. We're through 3 at Lowell Park. Kettleers retake the lead. It's now 2-1 Katuitt here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network and Comcast Channel 99 from Barnstable all the way to Chatham and Channel 13 Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
5, 6, and 7 due up for the Wareham Gatemen here in the top of the 4th inning. Lowell Park the scene. Greg Mraz on hand with you. Kettleers lead 2-1. Kettleers got a run in the second and a run in the third. Gatemen got their only run in the top of the third. Jeff Kinley out for his 4th inning of work. Nobody loosening in the bullpen for the Kettleers. Kinley thus far has been pretty good. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. No walks and 3 strikeouts. Kyrie Washington, the left fielder from Longwood, steps to the plate. Washington flew out to left to lead off the second. Washington wears number 42. Will be participating in the home run hitting contest on Sunday at Doran Park. Slightly open stance, waggles the bat. Kinley gets the sign from Rice. Winds, kicks, delivers the first pitch to Kyrie Washington. Fastball misses low and away. 1-0 the count on a guy that many scouts have said has the best pure power of anybody in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 1-0 curveball. Sweeps from inside to outside. Hits the inner paint for a strike. Count even at 1. Ebert and Taylor on the outfield grass. Up the middle. Fastball misses high and away. Rice has to jump out of his crouch. 2-1. Hendricks even with the bag at third. Big hole in the right side as Ebert shifted towards the second base bag. 2-1. Washington hooks it down the left field line. Hooking foul. Extra bases for sure if that ball stays fair. Count even up at 2 on Kyrie Washington. Wareham in their home whites that say Gateman across the front in red letters with red numbers on the back. Very similar to the Boston Red Sox home unis, except they say Gateman instead of Red Sox. Curveball, 2-2 pitch, misses away. Count goes to full on Washington. Jose Quaz stands on deck. Wine kicking the payoff on the way from Kinley. Swing and a miss. Fastball tails high and away. Quaz strikes out. 4th strikeout of the day for Jeff Kinley. And Jose Quaz strides to the plate. Quaz credited with 2 errors in the second inning, but may have added another 2 had he not been able to get the force on Logan Taylor's ground ball. And if Trace Barrera was a faster runner, he more than likely isn't able to make the play to end the inning. First pitch to Quaz, fastball, up sweeps to the high part of the zone for ball 1. Quaz popped out to second in his first at bat. 1-0 offering. Quaz, swing and a miss. Swung under Kinley's fastball that hit the high inside part of the strike zone. Count even up at 1-1. Quaz waggles the bat. Third baseman from Maryland. 1-1, fastball misses high and away. Count to 2-1. Quaz joined the team in early July. He's hitting at an even 200 coming into today. 12 hits in now 61 at-bats. Quaz hits it high to left center field. Norwood ranges to his left. Backpedals about 5 feet in front of the fence out in left center field. Makes the catch. A long, loud out for Jose Quaz. He's 0 for 2. 2 outs for Danny Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum teammates with Corey Ray, the starting center fielder, as well as today's one-inning starter, Drew Harrington. Rosenbaum waggling the bat, playing first base today for the Gatemen. First pitch swinging, skies it down the right field line, foul and out of play over the Arnold Mycock tree. That overhangs right field, out of play down the right field line. Travis Duke and Nick Eichholtz will be coming up in the booth later on. Should be an interesting interview. 0-1, curveball. Hits the inside corner. Rosenbaum backed away from it, but called a strike. 0-2 on Danny. Righty-lefty matchup. Hendricks inching onto the grass at third. Fastball on the 0-2. Misses low and away. Count even. Or count 2, 1-2. Kinley shakes off a sign. He's got one now. Kicks, delivers a 1-2. Curveball in the dirt. Ball gets past Ian Rice. Ian Rice has had to work awfully hard today, and you don't want somebody who's come off a concussion such as he has to have to work that hard behind home plate. Kinley kicks, delivers a 2-2. Rosenbaum grounds it on the ground to short. Taylor on the backhand, fires across in time to get Rosenbaum. A 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Kinley. He's retired the last 4. We're through 3.5 at Lowell Park. Still 2-1 Kettleers. You're locked into Kettleers baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
8-9-1 due up against Anthony K. here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kettleers lead 2-1. Kettleers scored their runs in the 2nd and 3rd. Ebert leads off. He reached on an error by Jose Quaz back in the 2nd. First pitch on the way from the left-hander K. Fastball hits the outer paint for a strike. 0-1. Ebert from Auburn University, War Eagle as they like to say, down in Auburn, Alabama. K delivers the 0-1. Ebert hits it on the ground to short. Lacey picks it up, flips across in time. 2 pitches, 1 out. Anthony K trying to find his groove here in the 4th. One of the most famous Auburn baseball alums is Frank Thomas, who played here in the Cape League, was a 2-sport athlete at Auburn, played tight end on the football team, and played first base on the baseball team. First pitch to Brendan Hendricks, the 3rd baseman from USF. Curveball hits the low outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Hendricks struck out swinging to end the 2nd. Lefty-lefty matchup. Gateman infield is back. 0-1, swing and a miss. Hendricks falls out of it on a curveball that hits the inside corner. 0-2. Another great athlete, two-sport athlete, Bo Jackson played at Auburn. Swing and a miss. 0-2 fastball misses high and in. Hendricks 0 for 2. Struck out swinging twice. Order turns over now for Rhett Wiseman. Wiseman singled in the third, and he scored on a sacrifice fly by Jamison Fisher in that same half inning. Wiseman advanced to third on a throwing error by John Borman, the catcher, on a 3-0 count on John Norwood. The pitch was high and away for a ball anyway. Borman threw down, but nobody at second. First pitch, swing and a miss. Curveball sweeps to the low outside on the left-handed hitting Wiseman. Counts 0-1. Wiseman has left 2 games this season, one at YD and the one on Wednesday night in Bourne, with injuries to his left and right wrists. 0-1 curveball misses low and in. Count even at 1-1, but is okay considering he's in the lineup today. Quaz in on the grass at third. Everybody else back in the infield. Wiseman hits it high and deep to right field. Anderson Miller backpedals about 7 steps in front of the fence, reaches up the glove and makes the catch for out number 3. Anthony Kay is retired the last 5. We've played 4 here at Lowell Park. 2-1 Katuitt here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network and Comcast Channel 99 from Mashpee to Chatham and Channel 13 in Sandwich. Stay with us, friends.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years.
Start of the 5th inning at Lowell Park, a 2-1 Kettleers lead. Jeff Kinley back out for the 5th. The closer from Michigan State getting the start today for Mike Roberts. Holds the glove in front of the Cape Cod lettering. The Red Shirt Friday. The home team wears the red jerseys. Kinley's first pitch on the way to Borman. Sliced to the right, down the right field line, foul. Off the chain link fence, there was a Wareham player jogging down the right field line. Picks it up and gives the fans a souvenir. The count 0-1 to the catcher from Texas San Antonio. Batting from the right side, the hands close to his right shoulder. The 0-1 pitch to Borman. Curveball low and in, bounces off the back left corner of home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Kettleers with 2 runs. Wareham just 1 in meeting number 5 of the season. The 1-1 fastball misses inside. 94 from Kinley. Infield and straightaway depth. Brendan Hendricks even with the third base bag down the third base line. 2-1. Curveball gets away. It misses high and away. 3 balls, 1 strike. Borman came around to score Wareham's only run today. Back in the third. 3-1 offering. Fastball, strike 3 call. Well, rather strike 2. Got ahead of myself there. The count 3-2 on Borman. Good pitch to hit. Surprised he didn't give it a hack. Here's the 3-2. Fastball inside, ball 4. So no strikeout for Kinley. It's a leadoff walk. Pitch number 65 today from Jeff Kinley. He pitched just 2 days ago. That was in the win against Chatham here at Lowell Park. 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, walked 1, and faced 9 batters. Hendricks creeps in on the grass. First pitch, a fastball in the outside corner. To the left-handed hitting Anderson Miller, the Western Kentucky right fielder. 0 for 0, had a sacrifice bunt back in the third. The lefty awaits the 0-1 from Kinley. He delivers. Curveball cuts north to south, but misses far and wide. 1-1. The Wareham Gatemen in search of that fourth and final playoff spot in the Western Division. Katuitt clings to the third seed in the West. Borman leads the 1-1. Curveball again tails away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gateman had the best opportunity to take that spot away from Hyannis on Tuesday and Wednesday. Were shut out in both games. 7-0 and 3-0 at McKeon Park and at Spillane Field. 2-1 pop to the left side. Hendricks as well as Norwood in left field on the run. It trails out of play. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Wareham lost July 22nd, 7-0. And on July 23rd, 3-0. Heading into those 2 games, a home and home with Hyannis, they were behind just a game and a half. Now they're 3.5 out with 7 games to play, not including tonight. 2-2 pitch. Fastball again popped to the left. It's Rice and Hendricks calling for it. Brendan's going to come over down the third base line and make the grab for out number 1. So Jeff Kinley has cruised through 4 1/3 thus far. Certainly a surprise, but a good surprise for Mike Roberts, going with Kinley as the starter today. Kinley stares in to the left-handed hitter Willie Calhoun, Cape Cod Baseball League's leader in doubles with 12. Throw to first. Fisher applies the tag over to Borman. He stands at first with 1 out, 2 hits apiece on both ends. Katuitt, 1 more run though, a 2-1 lead here in the 5th. Another check over. Kinley's got a great pickoff move. He allows his balance leg, his right leg, to stay up high enough in the air where he may go to the plate or check in over at first. It's a small but short and sweet delay. Curveball bends over for a strike, 0-1. Good pitch to start the at-bat to Calhoun. Second baseman from Arizona is 0 for 2. Flew to left in the first. Grounded over to Fisher at first base. Back in the 3rd inning. Kinley waves off a pair of signs from Rice. Sets by the chest. 0-1. Fastball hammered to the right. Nice play by Fisher on the backhand and the dive. Throw to second in time for 1. Throw to first. Oh, it couldn't get 2. Nice play by Fisher. Dove to his right. Threw from 1 knee to Taylor at second base. Taylor's throw to Kinley covering first, not in time to record 2. A nice play either way. So score it 3-6 to nab Borman at second base. Calhoun reaches first on a fielder's choice. Blake Lacey, the batter now, batting from the right side. Lacey is 1 for 2. Struck out, but reached on a drop third strike back in the 3rd. First pitch fastball clocks the outside corner at 88 from Kinley. 0-1. Lacey also singled back in the 1st. 1 of 2 hits today for Wareham. What's really hurt the Gatemen, the 3 errors. Kinley sets. A long look at Calhoun. Pitch. Fastball, a half-hearted swing. He did go around, says home plate umpire Jerry Park. Lacey behind 0-2. Cooper Ferris, the manager of the Gatemen, giving the signs down the third base line as Lacey climbs back into the right-handed batting box. Lets the bat stay cocked behind his helmet. 0-2 is not thrown. Throw over to first to check on Calhoun. You have to watch every pickoff attempt by Kinley with both eyes, not just one, because it's pretty good. Again, allows that leg to hold just enough to throw the runners off. 0-2, a fastball high and wide. Lacey doesn't lift the bat off his shoulder. It's 1-2. You can see Nick Eichholtz and Travis Duke selling raffle tickets out in left center field beyond the fence as the American flag waves just to the right of them. Throw at first again by Kinley. Just a beautiful day here in the Cape Cod League. Only 2 games last night. Both were makeup games from last Tuesday, rather this past Sunday. Brewster and Harwich, YD and Bourne. Runners off, throw down from Rice. Throw is high and wide. Ebert has no chance to apply the tag. So Calhoun steals second base. And he's on. It's Willie Calhoun's first stolen bag of the year. For a leadoff man to have 1 stolen base, sort of a surprise. Kinley gets the sign from Rice. Sets at the belt, 2-2. Fastball again, high and wide. Count runs full, 3-2. Action warming in the Kettleers bullpen. It's a right-hander. An obstructed view down the left field line, so not quite sure who it may be. But this could be Kinley's last batter. Tries to exit the 5th with a 2-1 Kettleers lead. Time asked from Lacey. Stands back in the box. Kinley looks in. Comes set. 3-2. Fastball, nub to right center. In on the grass shortly comes Ebert from the second base position. Makes the catch to retire the side. Kinley, solid through 5. Allows just 1 run on 2 hits. He's in line for the win as the Kettleers hold a 2-1 lead going into the last of the 5th inning. Right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network and on Channel 99 in Barnstable, Mashpee, and Channel 13 in Sandwich.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast.
John Norwood digs in his back foot on the right-hand side of the batter's box. Big right-handed hitter from Vanderbilt steps in to face Anthony Kay. First pitch curveball in the outside corner to Norwood. 0-1. A 2-1 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers on the Wareham Gateman in the bottom of the 5th at Lowell Park. 5th visit between the two clubs. Final at Lowell Park. Fastball outside from Kay. 1-1 to Dice. John is 0 for 1. Flew to left in the first. Walked back in the third. 1-1 pitch. Dribbles in. Misses low. 2 balls and a strike to Norwood. Norwood, Fisher, and Glines. 2, 3, and 4 expected to bat for the Kettleers. Norwood sporting number 28 today. Normally 27, but the Redshirt Friday jersey's on for Cotuit. 2-1. Nubbed up the middle on the ground. Shortstop Lacey comes over. The heave across the diamond in time to get Norwood. Nicely done by Lacey. Lacing him up over at short to make the play. Norwood's gone 6-3 to start the bottom of the 5th. Red hot Jamison Fisher steps in now for Cotuit. Jamison entered action today hitting .327, 8th best in the CCBL. Was injured at one point in the middle of the season. Missed about 4 or 5 games in a row. Mike Roberts had him back in the lineup. He's been solid since. First pitch curveball over the heart of the plate, but taken for a strike by Fisher. 0-1. Jamison was able to plate Rhett Wiseman on a sacrifice fly back in the third to give Cotuit the 2-1 advantage. 0-1 pitch, a fastball high and away. 1-1. And that's the score right now, midway through the game. Fisher holds the bat out in front. Kay in the windup, 1-1. Curveball, knocked to the right, right on the line, caught by Rosenbaum. Bent to one knee, deep in the hole at first base when he made that grab, just in front of the grass. Makes the catch for out number 2. It's been a fast-paced ball game at Lowell Park. 2 down, already in the last of the 5th. Jackson Glines, the left-handed hitter from Michigan, steps in, taps the end of home plate. Now the inside, ready for the at-bat against Kay. First pitch, curveball. Crosses the plate for a strike, 0-1. Jackson Glines 1 for 2. Singled back in the third. One of 2 hits for the Kettleers. Skies it to center. Long drift in by Ray. Comes in and makes the catch. A bit of a jump at the end there to retire the side. 5 innings in the books already at Lowell Park, and the Kettleers hold a 2-1 lead on the Wareham Gatemen. You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Barnstable and Ashby, Channel 99, and Channel 13 Sandwich.
The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees.
Jeff Kinley's day is done. 2-1 Cotuit as we head to the top of the 6th inning. A great outing for the Kettleer lefty from Michigan State. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. The new pitcher is the right-hander from Wofford, Luke Leftwich.
Luke Leftwich making another appearance for the Kettleers. This is 11th. Makes it the 9th out of the bullpen. And 20 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's allowed 18 hits, 16 runs, 12 of them earned. He's walked 11 and struck out 10. The ERA at 5.31 for Leftwich. And you mentioned how good Kinley was there, Greg. Well, 6th time this year we've seen a Kettleer pitcher go at least 5 innings. That's not a whole lot when you've played 37 games this year. So a good outing from Kinley for a guy that's never started in his life. Maybe he did in high school, but never in college. And certainly in the last 4 years, a nice outing to set the tone today.
Jeff Kinley, maybe we'll see him start again. Who knows? Heart of the order due up for the Wareham Gateman, Chris Chinea. The DH from Louisiana State steps in, flew out to center field his first time up, and back in the 3rd, he reached on an error by Jordan Ebert, ball that went right under his glove. Kettleers, 2 runs on 2 hits. They've committed 1 error. Gateman, 1 run on 2 hits. They've committed 3 errors. Chinea, the starting DH in the All-Star game for the Wareham Gatemen. Righty-righty matchup. Leftwich winds, kicks, delivers. First pitch fastball. Misses high and away for ball 1. Did a fun interview yesterday with Jeff Kinley and Travis Duke that turned into them trying to interview me. 1-0 on the way. Swing and a miss. Chinea, big hack on a high inside fastball. Count even at 1-1. But Leftwich's part in that is that he came in and just yelled audio bomb because a lot of times people like to photo bomb video interviews, but for an audio-only interview, 1-1, sweeping curveball, hits the high outer paint. 1-2 on Chinea. But he just yelled audio bomb. Very entertaining. Hendricks, even with the bag at 3rd, rest of the infield back. 1-2 on the way from Leftwich. Check swing, ball in the dirt. Good block by Ian Rice. Appeal down to first, but first base umpire Tim Clayton says no swing. Count even up at 2-2. Another thing I noticed. Cooper Ferris, once again, not wearing a jersey. Just wearing his windbreaker. 2-2 offering on the way. Swing and foul back. right to the screen. Count remains at 2-2. Cooper Ferris in the last game that the Kettleers played against the Gatemen back on July 12th, he was wearing his jersey. It was a very hot day. But in every game that Wareham has played that I've ever been to, Cooper Ferris has always had that windbreaker. 2-2, fastball misses away. Count goes to full 3-2. Cooper Ferris is from Mississippi. It gets warm down there, so this might be a little bit cold up here. 3-2 on the way. Chinea slices it foul over the first base grandstands. Fastball at 91 from Leftwich. We'll do the payoff again.
And Cooper is a guy that will wear that pullover no matter what the temperature is. He loves that thing.
Cooper Ferris had a great line at Cape League Scout Day. One of my favorite lines. Payoff on the way again from Leftwich. Delivers Chinea. Slices it out of play to the right side. Over the trees and into the woods. 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming to Chris Chinea. Cooper Ferris does not walk very fast. And Mike Monaco, play-by-play broadcaster for the Wareham Gatemen, asked him when a lot of the players were doing their 60-yard dash as Leftwich winds. Delivers the payoff again. Chinea hooks it foul towards the camera well down the third base side. Mike Monaco asked him, Coop, what was your fastest 60-yard dash time? And Ferris replied, about 2 days.
Sneak preview, too, Kettleer fans. Travis Duke and Nick Eichholz should be up in the booth momentarily. They just walked behind our broadcast booth.
3-2, foul out of play to the right side. 11th pitch of the at-bat. Upcoming here to Chris Chinea.
We hope we don't have to take out the censor for Travis Duke. He's quite the funny guy down the left field line in the bullpen for the Kettleers. We love Nick, but Travis is the guy we've yet to have up in the booth, and he's been a lot of fun this year for Katuitt.
Pitch number 11 on the way to Chinea. Curve ball, appeal down to first. Clayton says no swing. Leadoff walk issued to Chris Chinea. Gatemen have the leadoff man aboard for the third time in 4 innings. Brings up Corey Ray. Ray, a pair of strikeouts, both swinging on the day. I just couldn't imagine wearing that windbreaker in all weather.
There must be some sort of way to loosen it up when it's hot, then tighten it up when it's cold. He's got to have gadgets on that thing. Like Inspector Gadget. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Hendricks way in on the grass at third. First pitch to Corey Ray. Changeup hits the low outside corner for a strike. 0-1. I just can't imagine. He always wears those tinted glasses as well. And a funny story I noticed from the last inning. Leftwich in the stretch. Fisher holds on Chinea. 0-1. Hit on the ground. Taylor boots it. Ricochets towards second base. Taylor has no play on it. Chinea slid in safely. Taylor was not going to be able to touch the bag in time. By the time he spun around, Ray was way down the line. So an error on Logan Taylor. 5 errors combined between the two squads today. Brings up Kyrie Washington.
And Taylor did the right thing. It was a one-hopper right into his chest. So he went down to one knee, let it go off his chest. It almost rolled into Jordan Ebert's glove at second. But that awkward pause by both players forced Taylor to try and tag the bag himself. It wasn't in time.
Kyrie Washington's 0 for 2. He stands in. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch, swing and a miss. Big cut, but no contact. 0-1. The thing I was going to say about Cooper Ferris in the last inning, he is not a fast-moving human being. You have to wear helmets if you're a base coach after the incident with Mike Coolbaugh dying after getting nailed in the head with a liner, coaching third in the Rockies AA organization. Hendricks in on the grass at third. Fisher in on the grass at first. Washington lays down the bunt. It's right back to Leftwich. Leftwich throws to third. It gets away from Brendan Hendricks. Chinea is going to come in and score. Moving to third, Corey Ray. Up to second, Kyrie Washington. Back-to-back errors. A bad throw from Luke Leftwich allows the tying run to come in and score. We're knotted at 2.
Yikes. I like the idea by Leftwich, but you're winning this game by a run. Get the sure out. It was a fast bunt that moved towards him. He spun, took his time, but pitchers making fielding plays is always scary. And now, with a tie game, you've set up Wareham in a great spot with second and third and nobody out.
Here's the other thing about that play. You don't blame Leftwich for going to third because that was not a very good bunt put down by Washington. He put it so far out to the pitcher's mound that Leftwich figured he was going to have enough time to force out Chris Chinea at third. Well, that wasn't the case. Infield all the way in now. Jose Quaz steps up. Pair of flyouts. One in the second, one in the fourth. Third baseman from Maryland has two of Wareham's three errors. First pitch fastball misses high and in. 1-0 the count on Quaz. Ware's number 11 for Wareham. Slightly open stance. Ray at third. Washington at second. Gatemen have tied it up. It's now 2-2. Leftwich in the stretch at the letters. Looks at Ray at third. 1-0 fastball sweeps high and away. Count to 2-0. But the thing about Cooper Ferris, I was saying, he forgot his helmet in the last half inning, and it's a good thing that the umpires didn't notice, or else it would have taken him at least 5 minutes to go back to the dugout and back out to third base. 2-0 on the way. Fastball hits the inner paint for a strike. Good pitch by Leftwich, 2-1. All kidding aside, all my interactions with Cooper Ferris have been positive. He's one of the nicest managers in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's a fun guy to be around, and he's got some great quotes. 2-2 on the way. Fastball in the dirt. Good block by Ian Rice on the outside as he slides to his right. 3-1 on Quaz. Danny Rosenbaum stands on deck. Each team has 2 runs. Each team has 2 hits. Each team has committed 3 errors. Talk about a line for you. Infield in. Leftwich in the stretch, first base side of the rubber. Delivers the 3-1. Quaz fouls it straight back. Count goes to full. 3-2. Leftwich has not yet recorded an out, yet he is well over 20 pitches. 24th of the inning upcoming, although he had 11 pitches to Chris Chinea. 3-2. Corey Ray on third. Kyrie Washington on second. Tie ball game. Payoff upcoming from Leftwich. Quaz hooks it foul down the left field line towards the Kettleers bullpen. Adam Witt is starting to stretch for the Kettleers out in their bullpen. Mike Roberts is coming out to the mound to have a talk with Luke Leftwich. Very odd that a pitching coach would come out and have a talk with a pitcher in a full count. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I mean, in this situation, maybe he's just trying to suggest a pitch call here. I mean, for the Kettleers staff, catchers always call the game. But maybe this is a case where Mike Roberts finds there's a certain pitch Leftwich can execute that he's suggesting.
Quaz has hit everything on the inner half of the plate hard. Foul, but hard. He has come nowhere near hitting anything hard put on the outer half. I could imagine Coach Roberts is saying, just pitch him away. If you give up the walk, then unfortunately you give up the walk. But Quaz has got a lot of inside pop. Slightly open stance. Leftwich back in the set, delivers a 3-2, fouled straight back. He's on it. You can tell based on the contact. He hit it hard, it went straight back. But he is definitely on the pitch. Leftwich stares in. Infield in, outfield playing no doubles. 3-2, Quaz loops it back to the screen. We'll do the payoff again. 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming to Jose Quaz.
This has been a long inning for Leftwich in terms of number of pitches. You talked about that first at-bat of this half inning to Chris Chinea that lasted 11 pitches. And now you have another long at-bat to Quaz.
Quaz broke his bat on that foul ball, so he'll step back in with a new piece of lumber. 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming to the Maryland third baseman. Leftwich sets at the letters, looks to third, delivers the 3-2. Fastball high. Ball 4. Gatemen are in a great spot. Bases loaded, nobody out. Danny Rosenbaum, The first baseman from Louisville steps to the plate. Rosenbaum is grounded out twice to third. Once in the second, once in the fourth. Rosenbaum, a returning Wareham Gateman, waggles the bat. Leftwich remains in the stretch, looks to third. First pitch on the way. Fastball at the knees, taking for a strike, 0-1. Corey Ray at third, Kyrie Washington at second, Jose Quaz at first. Kettleers remain in on the grass in the infield. Jackson Gline shaded slightly towards left center. Leftwich looks to third, delivers the 0-1. Rosenbaum hits it right to Ebert. Ebert falls down, throws home to force out Corey Ray, but that's all the Kettleers will get. Nice play by Jordan Ebert at second base to come up with the ground ball quickly. Everybody moves up the bag. Ray forced out at home.
That's a good play by Ebert, despite the fact he had to go to the backhand, kind of stuttered a bit, but made sure he made a good throw. A dart to Rice with his left foot on the back of the bag.
Bases remain loaded. 1 out. Tie ball game, 2-2. Here's John Borman. First pitch, swing and a miss. Lost his balance. Fastball went to the high outside paint. 0-1 on the UTSA catcher. Borman singled and scored in the third. Walked and was forced out on a fielder's choice in the fifth. Top six, 2-2 score. 0-1 offering from Leftwich. Fastball low and in. Infield remains in. A bit surprised that the Kettleers are not putting Taylor and Ebert back up the middle to try and get a double play, especially with the catcher at the plate. Righty-righty matchup. Leftwich kicks, delivers the 1-1. Borman hits down the ground at third. It goes off of Fisher's glove and deflects out of play. Washington scores. It's 3-2 Wareham. Fourth error committed by the Kettleers. The ball went off of Jamison Fisher's glove and kicked directly sideways towards the Wareham dugout just beyond it. Everybody moves up a base. Third error in the inning on the Kettleers. 3-2 Gateman.
This has been a funky inning defensively. I mean, that's just bad luck in my opinion. Even the Logan Taylor play at shortstop was a play. He just let the ball go off his chest and it doesn't go his way. It's been the kind of inning it has.
Bases remain loaded for Anderson Miller. Hit right to the third baseman Hendricks. Throws home. And Ian Rice dropped the ball. Jose Quaz scores. 4-2 Gateman. Another error. Make that 5 errors on the Kettleers. 4 of them committed in this half inning.
All at different positions. The first error committed by Logan Taylor against Corey Ray. The next was against Leftwich when he made that bad throw. An error on Fisher, and now an error on Hendricks.
Bases remain loaded for Willie Calhoun. Fastball hits the outer paint for a strike, 0-1. Calhoun, 0 for 3. Grounded into a fielder's choice and stole second in the fifth. Grounded out 3-1 in the third. Popped out to left to begin the ball game. Infield remains in. Calhoun hits it deep to center field. Jackson Gline's on his horse going back in front of the fence, settles under it, makes the catch. Danny Rosenbaum tags at third and scores. Moving up to third, John Borman. Anderson Miller remains at first. A sacrifice fly by Willie Calhoun. 5-2 Wareham. And they've only gotten 2 hits in the entire ball game.
Look how obscure that scoreboard looks, Greg. 5 runs for Wareham on 2 hits, 3 errors. The Kettleers, 2 runs, 2 hits, 5 errors. It's a disaster up in that left center field scoreboard.
Blake Lacey, the 9th-place hitter, comes to the plate. The right-hander from USC. Leftwich in the stretch. Runners hit the corners. Pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball in the high inside corner. In the bottom of the 6th inning, we will have Travis Duke and Nick Eichholz on the air for you. Alabama and Texas being represented. A great national championship game years ago. 0-1, swing and a miss. Throw down to second base. Nobody's covering second. Coming home and scoring is John Borman. Moving to third, Anderson Miller. A stolen base and an error. And I wonder who they actually credit this error to. It's got to be on Ian Rice. Error number 6. 5 errors in 1 inning. 6-2 Wareham. 5 errors committed here in the top of the 6th inning. Anderson Miller stands at third. Blake Lacey still at the plate. 0-1 on the way. Fastball hits the low outside paint for a strike. 0-2.
The question is how many of these runs have scored, and that's strike 3.
Scoreboard lost track of the count. Strike 3 called. Gatemen bat around. They score 5 runs without recording a hit. Get that. They scored 5 runs on 5 errors. 2 runners reached on walks. They did not record a hit in the entire inning. Nick Eichholz and Travis Duke will join us this upcoming. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.
Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Kentuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's
5, 6, and 7 due up here for the Kettleers. 5 runs scored by Wareham. It's now 6-2 Gateman on no hits. Anthony Kay back out. Now joined here by Travis Duke in the broadcast booth, the left-handed pitcher from Texas. First of all, Travis, you're a everyday reliever, so it's a little odd to have you up in the booth here today. How does it feel to be selling tickets and just be chilling today?
Oh, it feels good. Coach gave me the day off today because I've thrown a lot in the recent days, so he gave me the chance to go out here, interact with the crowd a little bit, sell some tickets, and talk to you fine folk.
I like that. First pitch on the way to Logan Taylor. Pops it to shallow right field. Going back on it, Willie Calhoun. Backpedals, Sendel's under it, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Logan Taylor retired. But, and I actually got to ask you, you and Logan Taylor go to rival schools.
We do.
Do you guys ever talk about your rivalry?
You know, it's funny. I thought we were going to talk a lot more about it when I got here, but we really don't. He's one of the nicest guys I've met, and we just talk about many other things. A lot of them involve baseball, but none of them involve the Texas versus A&M rivalry.
Very interesting, considering you guys had an epic series.
Oh, yeah.
In the regional. Ian Rice takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. I watched pretty much every game of that regional. Most games involving you guys. I mean, that was something fun to watch. 1-0, fastball, hits the outer paint for a strike, 1-1. Was that, even though you guys got all the way to the semis, was that series against, or that regional, because it seemed like you guys were pretty much at your best that entire regional.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the most fun for you? 1-1 Mrs. Lowe, 2-1 to Ian Rice.
Oh, it was certainly a lot of fun. We dropped that game to A&M to force a rubber match on Monday. We wish we could have taken that one, but I wouldn't say it's the most fun I've ever had playing baseball. That would be a couple weeks later when we played in Omaha. That takes the cake easily, but we played well as a team. We got along well, and it was just a fun time.
2-1 hit out of play. Now, Travis, you were originally slated to wear number 27 here. Mm-hmm. You wear number 27 at school. Yes, you got number 50. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Well, I went down to Bruce Murphy's house to try on jerseys, and we went down to the basement, and we tried on the maroon jersey, the newer ones. Fit good, ready to go. He had number 27 waiting. Tried on the white number 27 and the pinstripes. Wasn't really something you want to see on that mound. It's a little form-fitting in the shoulders and the waist area, so we decided to bump it up a size, and the only number left was 50, so just kind of took what you can get.
2-2 swing and a miss by Ian Rice. 2 outs now for Trace Barrera, your Texas teammate. And what is one thing about Trace that, besides the fact that he goes by Trace, that most people don't know about him?
Well, in case you didn't know, his real name is Felipe Barrera III. That's why he goes by Tress, because he's the third generation to have that name. And despite his size, how big he is, how much power he hits with, one of the more gentle guys you'll see. Just my only advice, don't make him mad.
Don't make him mad.
Just
What
don't
happens
make
when
him
he's
mad.
mad?
He turns green, his shirt rips off, and this is not a pretty sight to see.
Barrera hits down the ground to Blake Lacey at short, scoops it up, flips to first. A clean inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Kettleers. We'll keep it here. Before we bring Nick Eicholtz on, any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Well, I'd like to give a shout-out to Nick Eicholtz, standing right behind me. Just looks phenomenal. I'd like to give a shout-out to Reagan Bazar. We're actually like the Three Musketeers.
Rest in peace to his mustache.
Yep. It was sad to see it go, but the ferret on his upper lip had to go. He was getting sick of it. But wish he could have stayed a little longer. Picture day was today, and so he missed it by 1 day, so he was clean-shaven for his picture, unfortunately. But still the same goofy guy without it.
All right, well, Travis, always a pleasure to have you on the airwaves.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Well, Travis Duke, we're going to have him jump off. We'll keep it right here. Top of the 7th upcoming. Nick Eicholtz.
I will be back. Don't worry. I will be back.
The Terminator, Travis Duke. Maybe we'll just call him that on the air from nowadays. He's now trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nick Eicholtz is about to come on now as we get Travis on out of here. First of all, Nick, you came in relief the other night, and was that a surprise for you? Were you expecting to be able to pitch against Bourne as Travis Duke is holding the hips of Nick Eicholtz?
Yeah, I was actually expecting to come in. I was expecting to throw a little bit longer, but, when we got down by a lot, he told me it was just going to be a bullpen type thing, so just an inning. And as Travis Duke dances behind me.
Does he have the most swag of anybody on the team, Travis Duke?
The most swag?
Yeah.
I mean, check out his socks. Look at his socks.
Yellow socks. Wow. Travis Duke, what a guy. I mean, really, how is it like, do you have any teammates at school like him? Have you ever been a part of a bullpen atmosphere with a guy like Travis Duke?
Not like him, no. I've actually never met anybody like him. He's he's just doing something. I don't know what behind my back right now, but he's hilarious, and him and Reagan get along pretty well here. It's a blast. As he's about to jump out the window right here.
Well, he can't really jump out the window. There's a screen guarding it. So that, unfortunately, sorry, Travis, we can't have you be Superman today. Chris Chinea steps up to the plate. You've faced off against him a couple times in the SEC. First pitch on the way from Luke Lefwich. Chinea fouls it straight back. What is it like in a baseball conference like the SEC to face so many of the guys that you face on a yearly basis here in the Cape League?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you're playing the best guys here in this league because it's the best baseball league in the summer. So, no, it's a lot of fun. I've seen him hit a home run about 400 feet before, so that's pretty cool.
Jamison Fisher makes a nice play at first, tags the bag for an out. Travis Duke is just the ultimate distraction. What have you thought of nicknames for Mr. Duke? Does he have any good? I was thinking a good one would be the Duke of Hazard.
Duke of Hazard?
Or the Duke of Travis.
He likes that one. Yeah, I like it.
I'd like to see his car painted orange with a 01 on the side.
Not what's on top, though. Can't put a Confederate flag on my car. It's looked down upon.
First pitch on the way to Corey Ray. Misses side away for ball 1. Corey Ray from Louisville. 2 strikeouts and reached on an error. 1-0 from Lefwich. Ray fouls out a play to the left side over towards the Kettleers kitchen. And speaking of food, Bourne has a pretzel burger. YD has a donut burger. What is your favorite Cape League Snack Shack food creation as the 1-1 on the way to Ray? Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
I just like a regular burger. I get one before every single game. I make him go get me it.
1-2 on the way to Corey Ray as Travis Duke is making some noises back there. You know what I feel like? If baseball doesn't work out for Dukey, I feel like a great...
Dookie. No, Duke's a hazard.
Yeah. 1-2, fastball misses away. I feel like a great job for him would be like the sound effect machine in movies.
Of course.
You know, like from Spaceballs, the guy...
He's got every imitation down.
2-2 on the way to Corey Ray. Swing and a miss, man.
Got him, swing it.
He goes high and in.
You should say when he's not at the baseball field. Let's just say that.
You know what another thing that I think would be like very interesting to see is a conversation, I don't know what you think, between Travis Duke and Brian Wilson.
And Brian Wilson, oh my gosh.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
That'd be a 6-hour conversation.
Oh gosh.
That would get nothing accomplished.
Not at all.
First pitch to Kyrie Washington, swing and a miss.
Might catch a handful of English words.
Now I want to know if, speaking of facial hair, could Travis Duke grow a beard
No,
like
not,
Brian
not
Wilson?
at all.
Swing and a miss.
I mean, that
Counts
thing's,
0-2.
that thing's been working here for a couple weeks. And
You've got yourself a pretty nice little...
I haven't shaved in about 4 months, and this is what I have, so
It's pretty nice.
thank you.
0-2, swing and a miss. Luke Leftwood strikes out 2 of 3. Well, Nick, Travis, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. This has certainly been fun. Stretch time here at Lowell Park, 6-2, Kettleers.
The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community.
Bottom of the 7th, first pitch to Jordan Ebert. It's a fastball that hits the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Well, guys, I really like broadcasting with you, but for now we're going to turn it over to play-by-play man Travis Duke.
And Ebert fouls it off just off the right field fence for a foul ball, 0-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Pleasure to have you here with me, Nick.
Oh, I'm right here, buddy.
Starts his motion. Hard ground ball to the second baseman. Fields it, makes the throw, out at first base, 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th.
Seems to have jammed him a little bit there.
Just a hair. Just a hair. Up to bat next for the Kettleers, number 10, Drew Jackson.
That was very nice.
Thank you. I've been working on it. I feel like there's a calling for me in broadcasting.
Of course there
baseball
is.
doesn't work.
Your voice just sounds awesome.
Thank you. Starts his motion. Changeup on the outside corner for strike 1. 0-1 to Drew Jackson.
7-mile-an-hour difference on the changeup. Decent.
Very good. Very good. Starts his motion again. Another changeup. Drew out on his front foot, loops it, and caught by the shortstop for out number 2. Seemed a bit on his front foot there, Nick.
Yes, he did. He had sat down on the ball, but put him in over the left fielder's fence. There it goes.
There it goes. Up to bat next for the Kettleers, number 8, Rhett Weissman. You know, I really like Rhett Weissman as a guy.
He's fun to look at, isn't he?
You know, he played right field for Vanderbilt, and they're the team that knocked us out of the College World Series. He, in that game, had a 2-run double and made a diving play in the 10th inning to stop CJ from having a double. And a curveball down the middle popped up on the infield. Third baseman calls it, and he has it for out number 3. The Kettleers go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 7th.
That was nice.
And we are going to the top of the 8th inning now. Travis Duke and Nick Eichholz sending off.
Thank you.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees.
Top of the 8th here at Lowell Park, 6-2 Wareham. Defensive change for the Kettleers. Drew Jackson takes over at third base. He pinch hit for Brendan Hendricks in the last half inning. Jose Quaz stands in. Quaz on the day for the Wareham Gatemen. Walked and scored in the 6th. Popped out in the 2nd and the 4th. Alongside my broadcast partner, Brendan Glasheen, I'm Greg Mraz. We hope you enjoyed the last half inning with Travis Duke and Nick Eichholz on the microphone. They're a hoot.
They were pretty funny. If only we had a camera up here. Oh, God.
First pitch swinging, Jose Quaz pops it up, shallow right field. Jordan Ebert goes back on it, coming in on it, Rhett Wiseman, settles under it, makes the catch. Quaz down on one pitch, and you have to feel for Luke Leftwich. All runs charged to him in the 6th inning, unearned. Just to go through how obscure the 6th inning was for the Wareham Gatemen at the plate, they scored 5 runs. First pitch on the way to Danny Rosenbaum, misses low and away for ball 1. They scored 5 runs without recording a base hit. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses away to Rosenbaum. This is a 6-2 ball game. But there have only been 4 hits in the entire ball game. 2-0 on the way. Rosenbaum slices it foul down the right field line. There are 9 combined errors in this ball game. The Kettleers have more errors than runs and hits combined. 6 errors. 2-1, fastball misses low and away. Count goes to 3-1.
I mean, 6 errors, 5 happening in 1 half inning is just insane.
3-1, fastball misses high for ball 4. You could make the argument that the game on Monday against the Brewster Whitecaps was one of the most complete games all season long. Well pitched, good situational hitting, great defense. Today, this may be one of the more obscure games all year, and the 6th inning is going to be completely overshadowed by Jeff Kinley. The 6th inning will overshadow Jeff Kinley's 5-inning 1-run performance, in which he receives a no decision. First pitch swinging, John Borman hits it hard to right field. Brett Wiseman going back on his horse, reaches the glove up, makes the catch. Throw back into first, and Rosenbaum back in safely. 2 gone for Anderson Miller. You talked about the Kettleers, Brendan, being the best defensive team in the Western Division. And it was funny that Coach Roberts, in the inning where the Kettleers committed
Just a 1 error.
that was back in the 3rd, and he got on everybody in the dugout about that. First pitch, Anderson Miller chops it foul down the first base side. Miller on the day, a sacrifice bunt, rounded out, popped out to 3rd, and reached on an error to 3rd.
What's ironic, it was just an error by Jordan Ebert, a play where he kind of olayed the ball. It wasn't an error where you could get over it as a coach, I would agree. But Ebert olayed a backhanded play. That really fired up the head coach.
0-1, Miller pokes it out into left center field. Jackson Glines ranges in. To his right, makes the catch. A 1-out walk issued by Luke Leftwich, but the Gateman strand a run. Will go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Katuitt trails this one 6-2 here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary. A Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it.
John Norwood leads it off here against Anthony Kay. Kay has been fantastic. Has allowed 2 runs in 5 innings of work, but only one of those runs is earned. First pitch on the way to John Norwood. First pitch, curveball, misses low and in for ball 1. Couple of defensive changes to note, friends. Nick Halamandaris takes over for Danny Rosenbaum at first. Corey Ray moves from center field to left field, and Charlie Warren enters the game in center field, so Kyrie Washington and Danny Rosenbaum out of the game. 1-0 fastball, misses low, 2-0 the count. Action loosening in the Gateman bullpen out beyond the right field fence. Norwood on the day, 0 for 2, walked and was forced out at third in the third. 2-0, Norwood, slow dribbler on the ground. Lacey ranges to his right, picks it up, cuts over, and fires across in time to get John Norwood. Score at 6-3, 1 out for Jamison Fisher.
You know, you and I just talked off the air. Just look at that scoreboard. 4 hits combined between the two teams, 2 apiece. 8 runs. The run total doubles the hit total.
And the error total combined between these two teams is more than the run total between these two teams. First pitch on the way to Jamison Fisher. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1. And I don't think it can be understated that of the 6 errors that the Kettleers made, 0-1 on the way from Anthony Kay. Curveball, inner paint, called strike on Jamison Fisher. Fisher 0 for 2 at a sac fly back in the third that plated Rhett Wiseman. Lefty-lefty matchup. 0-2 on the way from Anthony Kay. Fisher pops it foul over the third base grandstand. Count remains 0-2. 5 of the 6 errors committed in one frame. 2 of the 3 that Wareham committed were on back-to-back plays. Fisher dribbles it Up the middle, second baseman Calhoun ranges to his right, throws across in time to get Fish 2 away for Jackson Glines.
It's been pretty remarkable how good he's been. The Kettleers haven't had a base runner since Ian Rice reached on a fielder's choice.
That was back in the 3rd inning.
15 in a row by Anthony Kay.
Jackson Glines steps in. Glines on the day has one of the Kettleers' 2 hits. He's 1 for 3. First pitch from Kay. Curveball. Pulled a string on him at the knees. Called for a strike. 0-1 on Glines. Infield back for Wareham at all spots. Charlie Warren playing deep out in center. Kay kicks 0-1. Curveball. Inner paint. Called for a strike. 0-2 on Glines. The question is, does Keaton Aldridge, who has been a pseudo two-way guy, come into the game? 0-2. Ring him up. Strike 3 call. No. Everybody thought that home plate umpire Jerry Park was going to pull the strike 3 sign. Anthony Kay was already off the mound. John Borman was walking back to the dugout, but called a ball 1-2. Kay winds, kicks, delivers the 1-2. Curveball. This one misses inside. Count even up at 2-2. Adam Witt is loosening in the bullpen for the Kettleers. Normally this is not a situation that he would pitch in, but looking up and down the roster, other than Grayson Jones, he's the only other guy that's available. 2-2, poke to the left side. Lacey scoops it on a hop, fires across just in time to get Jackson Glines. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the 9th. 6-2 Gateman. Here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network, Anthony Kay leaves, retiring his last 16.
Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Chatham Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. The Kettleers and Cotuit Athletics.
Start of the 9th inning at Lowell Park, a 6-2 lead for the Wareham Gatemen on the Cotuit Kettleers. Adam Witt, the new pitcher, into the game for Cotuit. Luke Leftwich exits after 3 innings pitched, allowed 0 hits, but 5 runs allowed, walked 3 and struck out 3. That's been the story. The number of runs scored today on the limited amount of hits. First pitch fastball in the inside corner to Willie Calhoun, the leadoff man, 0-1.
Adam Witt, the Kettleers' lone pitching all-star, 4-0 with a 1.19. This is his 16th appearance.
0-1 to Calhoun, dips inside, he jumps out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike on the left-handed hitter from Arizona.
30 and a third innings pitched, 19 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 11 walks, and 26 strikeouts.
Witt sets, The left foot far in front of the right. The pitch dribbled over towards second base. Ebert ranges to his left slide. Throw to first in time to get Calhoun. Nicely done. One down in the ninth.
Here's the interesting part about that inning in which the Kettleers committed 5 errors. Ebert was the only one in the infield that did not commit an error, although he committed an error earlier in the ballgame. Every infield position has committed exactly 1 error.
First pitch changeup waves away to Blake Lacey, the shortstop. 1-0.
Trace Barrera has now moved behind the plate.
1-0 pitch. Fastball sliced to the right, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out in the ninth. 6-2 Wareham in game number 5 of 6 between Cotuit and Wareham. Wareham leads the series 3-1. Cotuit took the last meeting. 1-1 pitch, low and in. 2 balls, 1 strike. It was here at Lowell Park, a 5-2 win for the Kettleers. And Anthony Kay, you mentioned it last half inning, has really proved himself that he can pitch, because his last couple of outings he's struggled. The number to the right side, it falls foul on the right field line. The hands go up from Jim Clayton. I mean, look at these outings from Anthony Kay. He didn't get out of the 3rd inning. Or rather, he didn't get out of the 4th inning in his last 2 outings. Pitched in losses, earned no decisions. But look at this. July 14th against Brewster, went 3 2/3, allowed a hit, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Falmouth, 3 innings, 1 earned run, and 6 hits allowed, but struggled. I mean, he has not had a great year. The ERA is at 3, but hasn't been this dominant. 2-2 pitch to Lacey, right back up the middle, caught on the line by Witt for the 2nd out. A little bit of a pause. Now he throws it over to Jamison Fisher to throw it around. He threw to first base just in case, and now he's laughing it off with Drew Jackson over at 3rd. 2 down for Chris Chinea.
I think it's important now, if you don't come back, to realize that you're playing the Orleans Firebirds tomorrow, a team you've failed to beat yet this year, before the All-Star break, and then you come back after 2 days off, and you're facing the Bourne Braves again.
First pitch nubbed off the back thigh of Chinea, the big right-handed hitter from LSU. You know, you look at this type of game with 7 to go after tonight. I don't know about you, but I can't figure this team out. Jeff Kinley starts well. This team gets a 6th time this year. A starter goes 5 innings. They still can't pull it out. Pitch goes off the helmet of home plate umpire Jerry Park. That looked like it hurt. Trace Barrera's out to meet with Adam Witt to give Park a breather. Actually, it may have... Yeah, it did go off of him, because if it went off of Chinea, he would have been down to first base.
The other interesting thing is this, and after the game, we'll give you our Coca-Cola of Cape Cod scoreboard update. Not many games in action right now, but Hyannis, despite their struggles, is only 3 points behind the Cotuit Kettleers, a game and a half. There's a possibility that Cotuit, who's been in 3rd for basically the entire month of July, you've got Orleans tomorrow, Bourne on Tuesday after the All-Star break, and then a home-and-home against Hyannis to finish the season.
Yeah, that could be
There's
something.
a likelihood that Cotuit could be locked into 4th place by the time that the month of August comes around.
That is realistic. The pitch, Chinea swings and misses. Nice curveball from Witt. I mean, you look at the season for Cotuit. Their biggest winning streak was 4. That was at the beginning of the year. They beat YD on June 14th, the doubleheader against Chatham, and then beat Bourne on the 17th. Ever since, they have not won more than 2 in a row. Fastball tails away. That's just like a Wareham team that hasn't won 3 straight games, dating back to the final 3 games of the 2012 season. So Cotuit has found ways to bounce back, but multiple 3-game losing streaks, multiple 2-game skids. They're on the verge of doing that tonight. Pitch fouled into the backstop, 2-2. 2 is across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 9th inning at Lowell Park. The Kettleers trail the Gatemen 6-2. Wareham can improve to 4-1 against the Kettleers. Last year, you witnessed Cotuit win all 6 games against the Gatemen. 2-2. Fastball waved on and miss. Good pitch from Witt. Elevates there to get the strikeout on Chinea. We'll go to the 9th. The Kettleers need 4 runs to keep this game going. Taylor, Rice, and Barrera, the expected hitters. Rather, check that. Taylor, Jackson, and Barrera, the expected hitters. Right here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by iHealth Services, proud sponsor of the Cape League for 14 years. Shadow Bars Inn is a leading sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, celebrating its 100th anniversary, a Cape League sponsor for over 20 years. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank. Today's broadcast is proudly sponsored in part by Curry College, located in Milton, Massachusetts. It offers undergraduate and graduate degrees. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Care where you need it, when you need it. The Kettleers and Katuitt Athletic Association want to welcome Bank of Cape Cod as a premium sponsor and member of the Executive Kettleers Club. Bank of Cape Cod is a locally owned and managed commercial and community bank.
Bottom of the ninth at Lowell Park. Kettleers trail 6-2 against the Wareham Gatemen. A game that will go down as one of the more odd games you'll ever listen to or watch. 6 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors for Wareham. First pitch to Logan Taylor, a curveball low and in. 1 ball, no strikes on Logan. 2 runs, 2 hits, 6 errors for the Kettleers. 1-0, Taylor slaps it over to short. Lacey ranges with the knees bent, throw to first in time to get Logan. A quick out number 1. The Kettleers are going right through these outs. 17 in a row, retired by Anthony Kay.
What will be overshadowed by the amount of errors, the 5-run sixth by Wareham, is how well these two, well, technically, Kay's not the starter, but was supposed to start today and is in his 8th inning of work.
Jake Fincher pinch hits for what would be the pitcher spot because Ian Rice was removed from DH to catcher, rather from catcher to DH. So a spot open, Fincher the pinch hitter, 2-1-0 pitch. Fastball high and away. Adam Witt would have been the hitter in that situation. So Fincher's got a 2-0 count on him. Jake, as you talked about with Mike Robertson, the Roberts report has really struggled since being the league leader in hitting. 2-0, a fastball down the dish for a strike, 2-1. Led the Cape Cod League in hitting with a 400 clip. Now Fincher's hitting 305. 2-1. Change up, misses low and in. What surprises me is Mike Roberts did not go to his bench a little earlier to try and get a spark because Kay has just gone right through everybody. He's into the windup. The lefty hurls the 3-1. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. Finally, Katuitt gets a base runner since Rice reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. Trace Barrera now bats for Katuitt. Taps the end of home plate. The catcher from Texas took over midway through, rather in the 7th inning for Rice as catcher. Fastball in the outside corner, called a strike. So Greg, you said it, the 5-run 6th inning with 5 errors really killed Katuitt. An error by the shortstop Logan Taylor, an error by Luke Leftwich on the mound. As Kay sets the 0-1. Barrera slaps it over to 3rd. Cause goes to 2nd for 1. Calhoun's throw to first, double play. Anthony Kay throws a gem in relief. 8 innings out of the pen. Allows just 2 hits, 2 runs, walks 2 and strikes out 4, and shuts down the Kettleers. Retires 18 of the last 19 he faced, and Katuitt falls in this one 6-2. They also fall in the season series 4-1 against these Gatemen.
Sweet revenge, you could call it, for Wareham after losing all 6 to Katuitt a year ago. But I mean, I don't think there's anything short of calling this the oddest game that has occurred at Lowell Park, at least in my 2 seasons broadcasting for the Kettleers. 4 hits combined, 8 runs combined, 9 errors combined. That's a line you hardly ever see. Wareham got 6 runs and the Kettleers committed 6 errors. Although it doesn't add up completely, do the math.
We'll wrap it up now on the Kettleers Insider Postgame Show.
It's time for the Kettleers Insider Postgame Show on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. With a wrap on tonight's ball game, here's Brendan Glasheen and Greg Moraz.
Wareham 6, Katuitt 2. Greg Moraz and Brendan Glasheen on hand at Lowell Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. The Kettleers lose their 4th game to Wareham in 5 tries. The last game came here on July 12th at Lowell Park. You mentioned how this team has found some revenge, that being Wareham. Well, Katuitt was able to win 5-2 on a Brendan Hendricks 3-run homer, a game in which we saw 3 home runs. The Kettleers got to tie the game and then take the lead and win the game. But how about that? How about this turn of events today? You commit 6 errors defensively. You're the best team defensively in your division, the 3rd best in the Cape League. And it didn't look as bad as it was. They didn't explode completely, but you look at the box score, 5 runs in that 6th. That tells the game right there. And that's not to mention how good Anthony Kay was.
Well, Anthony Kay, for giving up a home run to John Norwood that seemed to have gone forever the last time that these two teams faced each other here at Lowell Park, Anthony Kay found a groove. He got guys off balance. He got a good mix of ground outs, strikeouts, and flyouts. But I think the real story today is the fact that neither team defensively. You also have to remember, Wareham committed 3 errors.
That's 9 total.
9 errors total. Wareham had 2 errors by Jose Quaz, their 3rd baseman, on back-to-back plays. And then they had that odd error on the John Norwood, a 3-0 count with Rhett Wiseman on first. Wiseman goes as to have it a hit and run. The pitch was called a ball, but despite that, John Borman threw down at second base anyway, and it went into center field.
Right.
That's an error that probably should have never happened. We clarified with our official scorer, Ashley Crosby, because of the fact that Jackson Glines got a base hit before 2 outs had occurred, it was still an earned run. So Jeff Kinley, or rather Anthony Kay, allows 1 earned run of the 2 runs that he's allowed.
Right, and that was the sacrifice fly to score that big run for the Kettleers, but at the time it felt big. Let's remember also Katuitt had a 1-0 lead in this ball game. Wareham came back to tie it in the 3rd. Rather, they took a 2-1 lead. Katuitt tied it in the 2nd, rather in the 3rd, with the Wiseman single. He eventually scored on a stolen base to second. Fisher played them with the sacrifice fly. So Anthony Kay gives up just 1 earned run in this ball game. So you look at this game. An ugly one, you put it behind you. It's really not going to kill you in the standings unless Hyannis takes advantage. You mentioned Hyannis is only 3 points back of the Kettleers. We'll get to the out-of-town scoreboard update in a moment. But quickly, before you wrap, Greg, the Firebirds and Kettleers meet for the final time at Eldridge Park tomorrow night in Orleans. They're arguably the best team in the league, despite the fact that Bourne and Harwich lead their respective divisions for now. But what's got to give tomorrow?
We don't know who's starting for the Katuitt Kettleers. That's the only certainty at this point. I mean, you got to get a good outing out of the starting pitcher. I mean, Mike Roberts goes to Jeff Kinley today in absolute desperation. And you look at the available pitchers on this list, Nick Eichholz could possibly throw. Vince Fiore might be in line to be able to throw, even though he'll have been on 4 innings, 4 days rest after having thrown 7 innings of work.
In 85-plus pitches.
I imagine that it'll be Vince Fiore who takes the mound, but I mean, this is a staff right now that is extremely shorthanded. And I mean, you've got to get a good starting pitching performance tomorrow. But also, I mean, you got a good one today. I mean, Jeff Kinley, we did not know what to expect from a guy who, in 4 years of college baseball, remember, the year he got the medical red shirt, he still pitched in 9 games.
Yep.
He had not started a game probably since high school. He goes out and he throws 5 innings of 1-run ball. You cannot ask for much more than that.
Right.
But your defense completely fails you.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't seen all year, Kettleer fans, because you look at tonight's game. The Kettleers, as we said earlier on the postgame show, entered 3rd best in the Cape Cod League, best defensively in the Western Division. You look at the numbers real quickly here. The Kettleers defensively entered the ball game with just 47 errors. Again, that was third best. The next team behind them, Falmouth, then Bourne. You look at Wareham, they're the third worst team defensively, and you said it. They committed 3 errors today, but Cotuit completely wet the bed when it comes to defensive mistakes. I mean, 6 errors, 5 in that single 6th inning. But you just previewed Orleans. They need to get a good start and clean up the mess defensively. Greg, take us home with the Coca-Cola of Cape Cod scoreboard update.
4th place is not that far out of reach. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks at Doran Park, top of the 5th inning. They lead the Bourne Braves 5-3. The Kettleers currently, with tonight's loss, stand only 3 points ahead of Hyannis. But not only that, if Hyannis wins, they will be only a half game behind Cotuit for 3rd place. So there's a very likely possibility, and you look at the schedule of the next coming days. Orleans tomorrow, Bourne on Tuesday after the All-Star break, and then a back-to-back at McKeon Park on that Wednesday, and then at home on the 31st of July, a week from yesterday, against Hyannis. You could be permanently locked in 4th place if that doesn't go your way.
Yeah, and quickly before you finish up, it's funny you say that because look at what happened to Wareham on Tuesday and Wednesday. A home-and-home with Hyannis. Hyannis very well knew that Wareham was right behind them, the 5th and 4th place spot. Hyannis took care of business and shut them out 10-0 in both of those games. So Hyannis stepped up this week to take care of 2 games they knew if they didn't get, they would be out of the playoffs in their action tonight against the Bourne Braves. So Hyannis is catching fire at the right time. So wanted to throw that out there. Another home-and-home, as you mentioned, next week after the All-Star game. They took care of business against this Wareham team. There could be more in sight, but give us the rest.
Top of the 2nd at Eldridge Park, YD up on Orleans 1-0. YD came back and beat Bourne yesterday by a good margin, 7-0 the final. Harwich up on Falmouth, 1-0 at White House Field, top of the 2nd inning. And the death knell, the death bell, is tolling for the Brewster Whitecaps in a must-win game against his team directly ahead of him in the standings. Chatham scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning against Brewster. They lead the Whitecaps 5-0 at Veterans Field in Chatham. So Wareham's not out of it. Brewster, it's coming to an end very, very quickly. But the Kettleers got to get back on the right ship because they're only holding the score holds. They're going to be only a point ahead of Hyannis.
It's definitely coming down to the wire. 7 games to go. And Cotuit slides again. They've lost 2 straight, dating back to the road game against Bourne on Wednesday. Again, the final score here from Lowell Park, 6-2 the final. The Gatemen defeat the Kettleers in a game in which Cotuit committed 6 errors total, 5 in the 6th inning itself. My broadcast partner, Greg Moraz, I'm Brendan Glasheen, signing off. The final 6-2. Wareham beats Cotuit. They lead the season series 4-1. Will be at Wareham next Friday, August 1st. Our broadcast tomorrow will be at Orleans at Eldridge Park. 7 o'clock first pitch. We'll have Kettleers warm up at 6:40 live from Eldridge. Hope to hear you then and hope to see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for tuning in to the Kettleers Insider Postgame Show on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Curry College, iHealth Services, Cape Cod Health